Hello everyone, hope you all are doing well. In this video, we'll discuss the third problem of Leetcode Weekly Contest 310. It's a medium level problem. The problem name is divide intervals into minimum number of groups. You are given a 2D integer array intervals where intervals of I basically contains left of I and right of I. That represents the inclusive interval of left of I, right of I. That means both the numbers are also included in that particular interval. You have to divide the intervals into one or more groups such that each interval is exactly in one particular group, right? And no two intervals that are in the same group intersect with each other. So return the minimum number of groups you need to make. Two intervals intersect if there is at least one common number between them. For example, the interval 1 5 and 5 8 intersect, because obviously 5 is the common element in that interval, and hence it intersects. So we need to tell the minimum number of required groups that we can make. So let's take the example and understand what the problem is saying. So I have certain intervals. Let's say 5 10, 6 8, 1 5, 2 3, and 1 10. Right? These are the intervals. What I need to do is that I need to pick these intervals and basically assign each interval a group, right? Such that all the intervals in a particular group do not intersect at all, right? Do not intersect. Like for example, if I pick this one 5 10, right? So 5 10. So what intervals can I put here? 6 8 cannot be put here because these two will intersect otherwise. 1 5 cannot be put here. What about 2 and 3? Yes, 2 and 3 can be put here because they will not intersect yet. What about 110? This will again intersect, so will not put it here. So right, these two elements are gone. We are left with these three elements. So let's take a group for 6 and 8. Now can I put 1 and 5 here? Can I put 1 and 5? Yes, I can do that because these two do not intersect. This is gone, this is gone. Can I put 1 comma 10 here? No, I cannot put because otherwise it will intersect, right? So this is group 1, this is group 2, and what about the third group? It is 1 comma 10, right? So group 3. So these are the three groups that we will form. Hence our answer will be 3. That means we need 3 groups for dividing the intervals such that no two intervals in a particular group intersect, right? So this is the problem. So at first go, probably you must be thinking that we need to sort it or do a bunch of stuff. So obviously sorting will help here, but this is similar to some of the standard problems. Like if I talk about there's a problem named as meeting room. Why I'm telling it? Because it is a standard problem, right? So what that problem says is that there is a room, right? There is a room. I'm just giving you the context so that you get the intuition how to solve these type of problem, right? So there is a room and there are people. So what people do, they basically come into this room, right? They basically come into this room at suppose start time, let's say S1. There's a person who comes at S1 and leaves at L1, right? There is a person who comes at S2 time and leaves at L2 time, right? So these things are happening in this particular room. Now we need to tell what is the at any particular point of time, what is the maximum number of people that are in this particular room, right? What is the maximum number of people at any particular point of time that are present in this room, right? This is one of the problems. If I talk about the meeting room problem, so it says that there are certain meetings, suppose S1 to L1 or end S2 to end 2 and so on, they S3 to end 3 and so on. Very standard problems. So what they say that these are the timings when the meetings are scheduled. We need to tell what is the minimum number of meeting rooms that are needed so that all the meetings can happen. Now what do we mean by that? Suppose the first meeting happens from 1 to 5, right? And the second meeting happens from 4 to 10. Obviously these two meetings are intersecting, so we need two separate rooms for these two meetings, right? So minimum number of 2 meeting rooms are required in this case. However, if our timings are 1 comma 5 comma suppose 6 comma 12, So that means only a single meeting room will suffice for this case, right? So in this case our answer will be 1, right? So similarly, if we come to this problem, if we come back to this problem, so this problem is saying you need to divide the intervals into groups, right? Now what we can do, how do we solve these type of problem? What we can do, there are intervals, and every interval has start and end, right? So suppose similar to this concept, if I find that uh, uh, like suppose so first how to basically implement this type of thing. So what you can do, suppose you have an array, let's call it frequency array. Suppose let's call it this frequency array, right? This is a frequency array indexing from 0 1 2 3 and so on, right? Now if I want to find out that how many meetings, like this is a different concept, we'll merge all these concepts to solve this problem. So suppose there are two meetings, one happening at 1 comma 5 1 to 5, and second is happening from 4 to 6, right? Suppose I want to find how many meetings what is the maximum number of meetings that are happening at a particular point of time, or what is the number of meetings happening at a particular instant. So what we'll do, from 1 to 5 one meeting is happening. So what I'll do, I'll go to index number 1, I'll increment the count by +1 in this frequency array, right? I'll increment this count, right? Now this meeting is ending at 5. So what I'll do, I'll go to, this is 3 4 5 and 6, I'll go to 5 plus 1. 5 plus 1 is 6. I'll go to 6th index and I'll add -1 here, because this +1 is basically taking care of index number 1 to 5, right? 1 to 5. So other option is you traverse the array and you increment 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here to represent a meeting from 1 to 5. Or the other option is you put +1 here and -1 here. At last we'll traverse the array and we'll do the needful, and that will be taken care, right? Second meeting is from 4 to 6. You go to 4, you increment it by 1, you go to 6. Now this meeting is happening till 6, so we go to 6 plus 1, 7th index, and we do -1 here. So, right, this is the stuff that is happening. Now suppose these are the two meetings. Now what I will do, this is the frequency array, we will find the prefix sum of this frequency array. So these values were initially 0. Now what will be the new values? The new values will be, this will be 0 only, this is +1, so 0. So the sum till here is 0, this will become +1. Here also it is 0, +1, +1, +1. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, right? So till 5 it will become +1. Now at 6 it is -1. Just no sorry, at 4 we'll come at 4. So till here we were getting +1. At 4 we also have +1. So what is prefix sum? Prefix sum says that the sum till here plus the current value, right? So for 4 the current value is +1, and this sum that we have seen till now is also +1 or 1 basically. So the value here will become +2. Remove plus, it will become 2, right? Now at 5 also it will become 2. What does this represent? It tells that at time t equals to 4 there are two meetings that are happening. At time equals to 5 at time equals to 5 there are two meetings that are happening, right? And that is true if you see here. Now we go to 6, our current sum is 2. At 6 we have done -1, so it will become 1 now, right? 2 minus 1, it will be something like this, so it will become this. Now at 7, when we come at 7 we again do -1 and it becomes 0. So what this tell? At t equals to 6 there is only one meeting happening. At t equals to 7 0 meetings are happening, right? This is one of the concepts, right? I think I have covered this in one of the solutions of an earlier Leetcode contest. So yeah, so this is something that we approach in this type of problem. Now for this problem what we can do, for the intervals, suppose we again build the frequency array. And we do prefix sum, right? So what that will represent? That will represent that at a particular index how many intervals are intersecting, right? How many intervals are intersecting, that will be meaning of it, right? Like for example I have 5 10 6 8 and so on. So I can again do for 5 10, what I'll do, I'll go to index number 5. I'll do +1 here. I go to index number 11, I do -1 here, right? I'll do all this, I'll calculate the prefix sum. Now for a particular index I, the value at that particular index will represent that how many intervals are intersecting at that particular point. So in short, if I find the maximum number of intervals that are intersecting, so that means I need to form at least that number of groups, right? I need to form those number of groups, and hence I return that in the form of my answer, right? So it's if you know this concept, if you have understood this concept that we have discussed about meeting room and all, so this is an implementation of that particular concept, right? Because if at a particular point of time you know that these are the intervals, these are the number of intervals that are intersecting, that means I can form separate groups for those intervals and I am good to go, right? And I am good to go. So suppose here three intervals were intersecting, I can form three groups and we'll be good to go, right? Suppose now if you are thinking that suppose here three groups are intersecting and here two groups are intersecting, then what? So we will form three groups. So these two groups, if they are part of these three groups, then this two is also tackled. Or if these two groups are starting from here, then obviously this is a separate thing, this is a separate thing, and only two of them are intersecting here, but we have an answer of three here, right? So you represent the maximum value and we are good to go, right? So yeah, this is the approach. If you want, I can show you similar problems which align with this approach, and you'll get more clarity on this one, because we have covered a number of concepts here, right? Let's look into the code. Very very simple code. I have taken a frequency array. You could have taken a map as well to save space, but again in the contest I was trying to code it pretty fast, so hence I did that. So what I have done on line number 5, for intervals of I of 0 I have incremented it, and intervals of I 1 plus 1 I have decremented the next index of the the last point in that particular interval, right? On line number 10 you can see I have calculated, I have a loop, and I have basically calculated the prefix sum, and I am calculating what is the maximum number of intervals that are intersecting. I return that in the form of my answer, right? The time complexity for this one will be, again you are traversing it for two times. So in the first it is big O of n, and in the second I have taken an extra space of 10 to the power 6. You can reduce that to by using a map as well, and we will be good to go, right? So yeah, this is the solution. If you like the solution, please like the video, do subscribe to the channel. Most of the viewers of this channel are not yet subscribed, so if you find it channel useful, please do subscribe. Also, if you have any queries, please do mention that into the comments. I'll try to resolve each one of them. Thank you, take care, bye bye.